again to Art with Mrs. Maher. You know what? Just a very short video about the work I'm doing and what I'm creating. Do you remember we talked about the word create? It's a verb, and create is an action word. A verb is an action word. And we talked about it means to bring something into existence. And I also talked to you about how powerful that was. I think it's very powerful to learn how to create and to bring something into existence. When you learn to create and use your imagination, your thoughts, and your ideas to bring something into existence, you are also learning some basic problem solving ideas. And that's important. So I just wanted to show you some of the artwork that I am creating. I not only teach, but most of the time I create. Now you can look at this picture and you can sort of see what's going on, can't you? Oh, there's some flowers. I gotta scoot forward a little bit. There's some flowers here. Do you see the beginning of a sky? Can you tell when you look at the sky where the sunlight is? I see it. Look at this area here. Is the sun coming through? If the sun's coming through up here, it's going to go down this way. Do you think it's morning or is it starting to become dusk? It could be either, couldn't it? I haven't defined that yet for you, have I? Oh. And what is this picture going to be about? Okay, come on, guys. It's flowers. A garden, maybe. Something happy. Something, well, who doesn't like to look at gardens and feel beautiful themselves? Because we're all beautiful, aren't we? Let's look at what I have. Now, we talked about the primary colors already, didn't we? Mm-hmm. Do you remember what your primary colors are? Oh, come on. We had a little song. Red, yellow, blue, red, yellow, blue. I love you. All right. I've got my paintbrush in. And I've got my palette, yellow, blue, and red. Now, when we create art, we're not always happy with our first results. And right up here, these two flowers aren't like the other flowers. One of these things is not like the other. Come on, who hasn't watched Sesame Street? I've been watching Sesame Street since my little girls were born. So I want to make a little bit of orange. Now we're starting on our secondary colors, but we're going to continue because this is just a short video demonstrating how I work with art. So if I want orange, I'm going to mix a little bit of red, a little bit more, and I'm going to try and mix in yellow. Now, when you take your brush, start at the end of your color and mix it in, because we don't want to mush up all of our colors, do we? We don't want to make everything a mess. Now look, I need a little bit more yellow, don't I? Can you see what I'm doing here? Oops, let's get that up there. Look at that. Can you see the magic? What magic is happening? Believe it or not, there is a magic in mixing colors, and you become the magician. All right, I've got some orange here that I'm happy with that color. Now, I'm going to tap my brush in my paint like that. And I'm going to like swoosh or like bot it. I'm going to bot it. That's what I want. Bot. It helps to make noise. they help you find your stroke. Okay. Bop, 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 bop. Can you see that? Can I get you up closer? Whoops. All right. How about that for a minute? Okay. Bop, bop, bop. Come on, say it with me. Bop, bop, bop. Bop, 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 bop. We want to sort of get the swirl kind of idea in there. Bop, 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 bop. Bop, 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 bop. All right, it looks a little bit better, but now I want a lighter orange. So what am I doing? What do you see on my brush? You see the yellow there? A little bit more. I'm going to leave it with some of the yellow. I'm not going to mix it all the way. Bop, 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 bop. Bop, 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 bop. Bop, 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 bop. I'm liking that flower a little bit better now. Okay. I've got my brush loaded again. Pop. Oh, I left a little bit of yellow on it. I dipped it in a little bit. Pop, 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 pop. Now let's see. I'm just going to dip in my yellow again. See, we want to be careful that we don't put more paint on our palette than we're actually going to use, because we really don't want to waste the paint, right? Because it will dry. Bop, 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 bop. Bop, 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 bop. Follow the swirl. There we go. I think I'm a little bit happier now with this. I had some dark black lines in there, and I'm gonna overpaint them to soften them, because they weren't working. See, I call it happy mistakes. It's when you try something, and you should try. You should experiment. You should explore. That's a big part of what creating is about. But then if you don't like the results, you get a do-over. It's not like you retaking a test, or just getting a wrong mark on a test and you don't get a do-over. Art is not like anything else that you're going to study. So it's important to be willing to explore, to try and do something. And if you don't like the results, just go ahead and try it again. All right. So the first part of our secondary colors is we used red and yellow, and we made orange. Now, some of the orange I didn't mix as well as other parts of the orange, so that it gave me a variety of orange shades here as I was working. Now, I also don't like this flower. These other flowers look like happy, more free. You can feel them growing almost. And this flower, I don't know. I don't feel it growing so much. Look what I'm going to try. Now remember, I told you, if I don't like it, I can paint over it again, can't I? Blue and orange. Well, red. Just getting some junk off of my brush here. I need more. Trying to get a purple in here. All right. Should I get gutsy? Oh, you know what? Art takes courage because you're exploring, and anybody who is an explorer has to have courage, right? You're going into the unknown, and you'll discover something that you didn't know before. Let's see what happens if I get a little purple in here. Just gently. I'm just going to go gently here. Oh, I'm just, shh, 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 shh. Yeah, get a shush in there. Get a shush. Let's get that. Let's see. Shh, 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 shh. Let's get shh, 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 shh. All right, now, okay, it's looking a little bit more interesting. But the truth is, a lot of times when I do my artwork, I work in layers. I get the first layer down, and then I start adding colors. And what we're going to do with this flower, I'll bring this picture back off and on. What we're going to do with this flower is let it dry. We're going to let this flower dry, and then we're going to come back and we're going to add more detail. So a lot of times when you're drawing and painting and creating art, you work in layers. Do you remember that dog that we've been working on? We used many layers of the different colors that are browns and reds and oranges. And we worked in layers to build up those colors, didn't we? All right. Now, we're going to go into more detail on secondary colors. But for now, if you have colored pencils, you can't really mix them. You can try, but the results aren't always going to be consistent. So right now, we did some orange. What colors did we have to use to make orange? We used two primary colors. Our primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. What color makes orange? Yes, you're right. Red and yellow make orange. And then we did, how did we get the purple? Purple is a primary color. We mixed red and blue. Red and blue make purple. Now, our next lesson, we're going to learn how to make green because I have to work on these leaves. And I want to also show you, before we leave, I'm rinsing out my brush. Oh, remember, we have to take care of our brushes. We have to take care of all of our tools because they are sometimes a little expensive, and it's not like you can just go out and get the next one. All right, my brush, I drip it into the water. I'm gonna dry it off. Let's see. I'm gonna do something fun here. See this? I just went out into my garden and I cut the stem of a bush off. Now, what I'm going to do, and this is, I'm going to try and demonstrate it here. I'm going to add a little bit of orange on here. Now, I'm going to have to probably set this down to finish it. But can you see where I said orange, I think, but red. See how I'm just painting the outsides. I'm not going to turn it over. I'm not going to give it anything else. I'm looking for some additional interest. I wonder how this will turn out. I have to turn it towards the paper, and I want it this way. And I think it's going to come off the branch down here. So all right, now I have. Remember I told you when you go to your hot food places or your to your go meals, get extra napkins. All right, I'm going to set it here as close as I can. And with my hand, I'm going to put it here. Very careful not to smush it or move it around at all. I'm just going to press gently. I'm going to layer this back gently. And I'm going to lift this up gently. Now, that's the beginning of something. I'll have to think about that, won't I? And next time we get together, we're going to continue with our secondary colors. And we're going to have fun mixing paints and creating something. For your activity today, please use the knowledge you have. You're free to do whatever you want. I just love seeing the pictures. I love it when you demonstrate that you have been paying attention and that you're using your lines, your geometric shapes, your colors, your primary colors, and your beginning understanding of secondary colors. If you have paints, you can try mixing your paints. If you don't have paints, use your crayons and use your colored pencils. Okay? I will see you soon. Be safe. Wear your masks. Wash your hands. And please enjoy your artwork because art, after all, is about exploring, having fun, being a creator, being you, and exploring your thoughts and your ideas. And that's just about the best thing ever. You have a good day, okay? All right, let's see. I still struggle